Hi everyone. The topic of my persuasive argument today is whether Roger Federer is the greatest of the contemporary male tennis players. This question has been at the back of the minds of avid followers of the game, casual readers and newspaper readers, as well as fellow tennis players alike. This is so because in the past 5 to 6 years, a group of 4 tennis players have had complete dominance over the game of males tennis. This quartet, comprising Roger Federer of Switzerland, Novak Djokovic of Serbia, Rafael Nadal of Spain, and Andy Murray of Great Britain, have had an almost complete monopoly of the game, which ensured that other tennis players can only dream of laying their hands on a Grand Slam, which is the highest honor that any tennis player competes for. While agreeing that each of the quartet, in their own way, is brilliant and excels in their own field, I contend that Roger Federer is the greatest of the contemporary male tennis players. At the end of my speech, hope to persuade you to think the same. Now, Roger Federer first burst onto the scene as a 19-year-old when he beat Pete Sampras, the American tennis player, at Wimbledon, which is a Grand Slam tournament held on grass. At that time, Pete Sampras was the greatest tennis player who had won the most number of Grand Slam titles and was considered invincible on his surface. But once Federer had beaten him, there was no stopping back, and he had a meteoric rise and went on to break other records which were previously thought unbreakable, such as being 287 weeks as world number 1 and winning 17 Grand Slam titles, which was more than Sampras' 14. Now, 286 weeks as world number 1, which Sampras achieved, was a humongous achievement and was done against players who were mostly one surface wonders. That is, they could be good on one surface or one Grand Slam, and then the others they would flop and go out in the first or second rounds. Whereas Federer, throughout his career, and especially towards the latter part of his career, when a tennis player in his primes, that is from the age of 25 to 30, has always had to contend with great competitors on various surfaces, be it Rafael Nadal on clay, Mark Philippoussis and Marat Safin on different surfaces, and also players like Andy Roddick, who always gave him a bit of trouble. But tribute to Federer is the fact that against people who has played at least 40 times, only Rafael Nadal has had a great superior head-to-head record against him, because most of the games between them have come on Rafael Nadal's favorite surface, that is clay. Now, a recent study by ATP showed that today, most of the games that are played today and the tournaments are held on the two surfaces of clay and hard courts. The ATP, the Association for Tennis Players, is the governing body for the running of males tennis. It said that around 80% of the games today were played on surfaces of hard courts and clay courts. Now contrast this to the time when Federer first broke onto the scene as a fresh 19-year-old. There, you had a proper season where you had 4 different surfaces. Each of them had their own preparations, tournaments, and the surfaces varied. For example, you had a proper pre-season for the first Grand Slam season in January, the Australian Open. They had a series of tournaments for the French Open, the clay court tournament, which was held in the months of May and June, and a good grass court pre-season for Wimbledon, which was the grass court tournament, and a complete set of tournaments for US Open, which is the last Grand Slam of the season and has held in the months of September and August. So now, today, when you had Grand Slams where you basically play all your tournaments on 2 surfaces, that is clay court and hard courts, the fact is that it is easier for any player to adapt, because all you need is the game to survive on 2 courts. Leander Paes, a famous tennis player from India, once said, when asked about his choice to partner a novice for the London Olympics doubles games, said that a person who plays hard courts and clay courts cannot become a grass court player in 1 month. It takes years of practice. Even the shoes that are required for each of the surfaces are different. For example, a grass court and a old hard court, which was yellow and green in color and was used in the Australian Open till 2005, required a special type of shoes, special stamina, and the ability to play under hot temperatures. Today, tennis players are pampered, treated, stay in 5-star AC rooms, have the best coaches they can afford, have proper psychiatrist help, physiotherapists, etc. During Federer's time, all of this was not possible because the bloom in male tennis was not happening. In fact, for most of his career, Federer did not have a recognized proper coach and generally worked part-time with coaches on a one tournament basis. Because as he said, at that time he was not sure if he could afford those tennis players. Also, another fact which makes Federer the great is the fact that he stayed in male tennis for such a long time. For example, when Federer first started as 19-year-old, those days rackets were similar between different people. All it depended on was your skill and ability to play their best. Today, rackets act as a complete tennis player in itself and are tailor-made to suit the requirements of each racket. When Federer first started playing males tennis, the rackets were the same and all dependent on the ability of the tennis player rather than the racket. Today, you have had top tennis players like Rafael Nadal, Novak Djokovic who are able to pay their sponsors to ensure that they get a secretive brand of rackets which are not available on the market for everyone else. Thus, they already get an additional benefit over their rivals, which a Roger Federer or any other tennis player will not get. It is to be noted that till a couple of years ago, Roger Federer still played with rackets that were the same as those that were available on the shelves. It is only now because of his back problem and his advanced age that he has to shift to a specialized racket. The fact that Roger Federer today, except till a couple of years ago, did not hire a good coach reflects the fact that he was confident in his own ability and had belief in himself. Whereas today, we have had superstar coaches who have been coaching people their lives. For example, Rafael Nadal has a coach called Tony Nadal, who's been with him all his life. Andy Murray has always had good coaching support. Today, the ATP, the Association for Tennis Players, the governing body for male tennis, has even allowed the use of electronic chips in your racket in order to record the percentage of the shots your opponent plays in return for each and every single of your shot. It should be noted that Federer has condemned this and has also condemned the use of on-field coaching or on-court coaching, which has been advocated by few people because he feels that tennis is a game which is played by the people in the tennis courts and not through external help. It has been noted that Roger Federer is and is always a staunch opponent of on-field coaching and has never taken advantage of the same. Further, the biggest tribute you can give to Roger Federer is his longevity. In fact, from 2001 to 2015, there's been sea changes in the game of men's tennis, and the fact remains that Roger Federer has been able to adapt for all these generations. For example, the Australian Open surfaces were different in 2005 and has changed till now. The Wimbledon tournament, that's a grass court Grand Slam, has had different textures to it every time. Also, the fact that today men's tennis players are conditioned and have a good body from a young age has to the huge advantage. Plus today, you had people who are one Grand Slam wonders, that is, they specialize on a particular Grand Slam. For example, certain people play well in particular Grand Slams, but not in other Grand Slams. Therefore, a tennis player like Roger Federer has also had to contend with these difficulties. Plus the fact that the level of his competition is far greater than any other has faced is what makes me say that Roger Federer is the greatest of the contemporary male tennis players. Thank you.